Russia has become the first country to officially recognize the Taliban government in Afghanistan. Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi praised the move as a brave decision during a meeting with Russia's ambassador in Kabul. He said it marked the start of a new era of cooperation and called on other nations to follow Moscow's lead. The Russian Foreign Ministry said the recognition would boost economic ties and security coordination, especially in energy, agriculture, and counter-terrorism. Russia removed the Taliban from its terrorist list earlier this year, paving the way for formal ties. Women's rights groups and Western nations continue to oppose Taliban rule. And here's what Afghanistan's foreign minister had to say during the meeting.
دا چې اوس د رسمیت پیژندنې لړۍ هم شروع شوه او په دې کې روسیې هیواد تر ټولو وړاندې شو نو امید سه چې همدا سلسله به هم همداسې په مخ ولاړه شي موږ د دې هرکلی کوو دا یو ډېر مثبت اقدام بولو له دې سره به د موږ او د روسیې فدراسیون تر مابین اړیکې نورې هم پراخې شي او
Now we are joined by guests for this discussion, Patrick Payne. He is a strategic and international affairs expert. Thank you, Patrick, for joining us. Does Russia's formal embrace of the Taliban strengthen regional counter-terrorism cooperation, or does it risk legitimizing extremist governance and networks across Central and South Asia, according to you?
Good morning. My name is Patrick. Secondly, let's put it this way: see, when it comes to issues about ethics and integrity and propriety, there are several examples across the world where the West has done the same thing. The Americans took away the sanctions from the present Syrian regime and its head, al-Jolani, who was an ISIS, one of the top man of ISIS in Middle East, and US went ahead and recognized his government and rescinded all the charges and the bounty that was on his head. So from that context, the West at least should not have any authority to question what Russia is doing. I think Russia's diplomatic engagement with Taliban does not mean that Russia endorses the Taliban's stand on women education or being against women education as Taliban is. I think the issue comes from quite a bit of desperation and urgency, primarily because Taliban is the most potent force in that region to counter ISIS. And ISIS has been trying to infiltrate into Central Asia and eventually into Russia, because the ISIS believes, as per my understanding, is that the reason why they got defeated in Syria in the previous decade is because of the Russian interventions in favor of Bashar al-Assad regime. So the Russians do have a security concern and a threat coming from ISIS in the middle of a conflict that they are already in against Ukraine, which is backed by NATO. Russia doesn't want major problems coming up from ISIS, and if the ISIS wants to spread its footprint across Central Asia and Russia, it has to go through Afghanistan. That is where Taliban is resisting, the growth and proliferation of ISIS, and that's probably one of the most important reasons why I think the Russians have gone ahead, engaged with diplomatic relation with Afghanistan, and I would not be surprised if Russia also provides Taliban with cutting-edge air defense systems, because Taliban government in Afghanistan doesn't have air defense system against some of the air raids that Pakistan has been doing inside Afghan territory in the name of fighting against terrorism. Back to you.
Thank you, Patrick.